Hello everyone. Today I'll take on a new challenge, a new starseed that not many people have been talking about, the Achernarian Starseeds. Little are known about them, and there aren't many videos about them either on YouTube or on social media in general. This was actually a requested video by one of my wonderful, beautiful subscribers, so I decided to do it and take on this challenge myself. Achernar, or Alpha Eridani, is the brightest star in the constellation of Eridanus. You can call these starseeds or these beings Achenarians or Alpha Eridanians. Alpha Eridanian sounds like Alpha Centaurians, yeah. Whichever rhymes better to you. First, only 2% of them among the Starseed group are incarnated on Earth. This makes them really rare as a Starseed. Achenarians are green and blue skinned beings from what I've seen when I astral traveled. Many of them are humanoid except their skins are blue and green. Their energies are a bit old, as they are old souls. They are very ancient. They are masculine energy orientated, very much reminds me of grandfather energy. They are as gentle as the Archenarians. But I also saw goddesses' energy existing there in a even higher dimensions in Achernar. The goddesses there serve as a guidance for them and brings out a lot of energy balance to their masculine. So they have a very balanced masculine and feminine energy in that way. It seems these two energies mingle in a perfect harmony when I was astral projecting into them. That's why they are very balanced in energy too. The Achenarians have a very peaceful and soft light energy. Usually when we think of masculine, like the Alpha Centaurians, they are more solidified, they are denser, I would say, and some of us might not be too accustomed with it, especially if our masculine side is a bit insufficient. The Achenarians have a lot of ancient wisdoms. They are master shamans, they are really good guides. They make wonderful spirit guides as their message are often wise and clear. You know, sometimes spirit guides can be, I wouldn't say wrong, but they can be misleading in a sense, and they tend to give messages based on their own perspective from their dimensions, which works totally different from ours. And that's one separating thing between us and our guides. We work in a different realm, so we tend to think and give our advice differently. And that's why I have to say, not all the time spirit guides are correct. I mean, they are wiser than us in their own ways, but they aren't always 100% correct. Sometimes their advice may not be the best for us, but we shouldn't get too worked up with that. But Achenarians are wise beyond perspective and philosophy. They are very wise when it comes to dimensions and energies. And I see them looking like druids. Perhaps there is a connection between them and the druids. The Achenarians are more neutral beings. They are not really on a side, they are more neutral and they prefer it that way. But I would call them neutrally good. Since they do mean well for others, but they will not step up until you ask them. They genuinely prefer a place of clarity and peace, and they dislike crowded and noisy places. Anything that disrupts their peace of mind and comfortable silence is what they dislike the most. They love the comfortable silence. So it is very hard to enter the circle of Achenarians as you need to meet a certain criteria. One of the planets I channeled in Achernar is not well habited and has a really low population. This is because they genuinely prefers less density and more space for themselves. They like to settle as small tribes with camps. I can see many Achernarian Starseeds living off-grid away from society. I can see them camping a lot. I can see them as hermits and pilgrimage, perhaps. Achenarian Starseed dislikes noisy crowded cities. They are also not found with physical technologies on Earth and may prefer primitive earthly lifestyle. This may not always be the case, but I think this is very common for them. They also prefer cooler temperature, and that's why autumn tends to be their favorite season. But I can see them living in really cold temperatures too. They are very drawn to Greenland, I feel. They are drawn to Scandinavia as a whole. I bet they'll feel very nostalgic when visiting there. Even though I don't know much about Greenland, I find Greenlanders share the closest energies to Achernar. I feel Achenarian Starseeds are also drawn to South America or South Africa. Any places that are chill, friendly, calm, peaceful, pacifistic energies are where Achenarian Starseed will prefer and like the most. Achenarian Starseeds' purposes are light workers and grid workers. The grid working is so important as their purpose is to help calm the energies of all the traumatic events and adversarial events on Earth, such as COVID-19, the riots, all the negative activity on Earth that causes a lot of pain and trauma and sorrow. The Achenarians are good at calming it down, minimizing the consequences or the aftermath of such events. They are very gifted at maintaining space and dealing with unwanted energies that interferes. We feel very peaceful and calm in their space to the point we forget our own problems. That's because the energies of Achenarian Starseeds hold so much sacred space in the environment, and it's exactly why they are very needed, but yet they are so rare. They are empathic in a way since they can sense, detect, and read energies easily. They are very good at finding whatever energies in us that is not at the right place. That's what makes them extremely talented shamans and guides. Anything that disrupts our inner peace, the Achenarians can help us greatly. Yes, they are also drawn to Buddha in that sense. Achenarians' energies are very light, and that's why they are the best people to hang out with. They are one of the most peaceful bunch that rarely goes into conflicts and rarely complains no matter how bad it is. So you'll never have any trouble with Achenarian Starseeds unless you interfere too much into their boundary. They really respect their own space. They also don't talk much about themselves and they don't really show much enthusiasm and passion. So some might think they are boring individuals, but it's just part of their personality and their way of living since they value absolute peace and calmness. Just because Achenarians doesn't put out much doesn't mean they don't enjoy life. They enjoy life, of course. Achenarian Starseeds generally don't like to stand out and be on the spotlight. Achenarian Starseeds are all about respecting people's space. They respect other people's space and their own. They strongly dislike it when someone is disturbing their peace, their space, their safe haven. That's one huge trait that is similar to the Speakins. The Speakins are also about upholding and maintaining one's space, one's safe haven. That's why I can see Achenarians and Speakins being close buddies to each others. Achenarians are herbivore at best, so I can see many of them are vegetarians. They don't need to eat I'm talking about the species, and I feel their bodies are crystalline. Like their bodies are made out of diamonds, crystals, fragments. That's what I picked up in their bodies. One of the planets I saw around Achernar has a light blue rocky landscape. They look very primitive. The atmosphere is very light and gravity is non-existent over there. I can see them flying around when traveling because of that. I also see glaciers with exotic looking mountains, caves below the surface, and waterfalls below. Yes, there is no gravity, but waterfalls are there. Don't ask me about logic. That is what I saw and channeled. Higher dimensions thrives over any human logic, any scientific logic possible. Overall, Achernar is such a magical space. It really reminds me of my trip in Iceland. Speaking on trip, I understand more about my past life. I must have traveled a lot of places when I was an alien, so that's where I got all these memories of different civilizations. I hope it helps, and I hope these information resonates. As you know, I offer cheap Akashic records reading where I will create a personalized video about you. This is what I'm most comfortable with, and I will spend more time meditating into your records. But if you want to have a face-to-face online meeting, I also offer that. In that case, I will not only read for you, but I will teach you and guide you to read for yourself too. If you are interested, email me at manifestyouridealdreams@gmail.com. I will post the email down below the description too. I will be looking forward to connecting with you through Zoom. Please like and share the video and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you all in the next video. Much love and peace.